हेलो एवरीवन। अब जो है हम चैप्टर 5 करेंगे, क्लास 12th बिजनेस स्टडीज। सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी एम ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग विद इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन? इनेबलिंग पीपल टू वर्क टुगेदर फॉर अ कॉमन पर्पस। ऑर्गेनाइजिंग मीन्स ऑर्गेनाइज करना लोगों को, ठीक है। फिर उसके बाद उनको टास्क असाइन किए जाते हैं। व्हाट डज द डिवीजन ऑफ वर्क एम टू अचीव? तो डिवीजन ऑफ वर्क जो है स्पेशलाइजेशन के लिए करा जाता है, ठीक है। तो आंसर बी। व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ डिपार्टमेंटलाइजेशन इन ऑर्गेनाइजिंग? अब आपने सुना होगा कि एक कंपनी के अंदर अदर बहुत सारे डिपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं, मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट, एडवर्टाइजिंग डिपार्टमेंट, ठीक है। तो आंसर बी। टू ग्रुप सिमिलर एंड रिलेटेड जॉब्स इनटू लार्जर यूनिट्स। On what basis can departmentalization be done? तो डिपार्टमेंटलाइजेशन जो है वो किन बेसिस पे होता है? तो फंक्शंस के बेसिस पे हो सकता है, प्रोडक्ट्स के बेस पे हो सकता है, और टेरिटरीज के बेस पे भी हो सकता है। आपने सुना होगा जैसे रेलवे है, रेलवे का भी नॉर्थ टेरिटरी पड़ता है, नॉर्थ रीजन आता है, साउथ रीजन आता है, ठीक है। बिल्कुल वैसे ही डिपार्टमेंट्स का भी होता है। व्हाट शुड बी कंसीडर्ड व्हेन असाइनिंग ड्यूटीज टू इंडिविजुअल्स? तो आंसर बी। देयर क्वालिफिकेशन, एक्सपीरियंस, एबिलिटीज, एप्टीट्यूड्स। What does establishing reporting relationships help create within an organization? तो ये हो जाएगा a chain of command, ठीक है। तो जो चैन ऑफ कमांड जो होती है वो सुपीरियर कौन है और सबॉर्डिनेट कौन है, उन रिलेशनशिप्स को डिफाइन करती है। व्हाट इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ क्रिएटिंग अ मैनेजमेंट हायरार्की? तो आंसर बी। क्लियर सुपीरियर सबॉर्डिनेट रिलेशंस। What does the term job refer to in the organizing process? तो आंसर बी। A set of related tasks that can be performed by an individual. Which department would handle activities related to managing money within an organization? तो ये finance department होता है। What does the process of organizing ultimately help in achieving within an organization? तो ये organizational objectives. What is one of the primary benefits of specialization in organizing? तो efficient and speedy performance of task। तो आंसर बी। How does organizing help in creating clarity in working relationships? तो आंसर बी। What does the effective administration result from in the organizing process? तो clarity in working relationships and proper execution of work. How does organizing contribute to the optimum utilization of resources? तो आंसर बी। Minimizing confusion and wastage of resource. Why is organizing important for adapting to changes in the external environment? Answer C. It facilitates adjustment to changes in technology, products, resources and markets. How does organizing contribute to the development of personnel? Personnel मतलब जो employees होते हैं, ठीक है। तो आंसर सी। By encouraging initiative and helping employees realize their full potential. What is the impact of organizing on the expansion and growth of an enterprise? तो आंसर बी। It adds more job positions, department, product lines, new geographical territories. What does a well-defined job and clear authority responsibility limit lead to in organizing? तो आंसर बी। In the context of organizing, what does delegation of authority allow managers to do? तो आंसर बी। Focus on more important issues related to growth and innovation. What is the key outcome of having a flexible organizational structure? तो आंसर बी। Better adaptation to changes in workload. What does the organizational structure seek to establish among all persons working in the organization? What does the organizational structure seek to establish among all persons working in the organization? So answer B. What is the basis for creating various posts? Answer B. What does the organizational structure provide for managers and employees? What does the organizational structure provide for managers and employees? Managers और employees को जो है क्या मिलता है? Basis or framework for performing functions. What does the span of management refer to? तो इसका आंसर हो जाएगा What does the span of management refer to? What does a narrow span of management result in? What does a wider span of management result in? In a functional structure, how are activities grouped? Which type of organization is a functional structure suitable for? What does specialization in a functional structure lead to? How does a functional structure help in increasing managerial efficiency? How does a functional structure help in increasing managerial efficiency? What is one of the main advantages of a functional structure? How does a functional structure minimize cost? What is one disadvantage of a functional structure? Why is interdepartmental coordination difficult in a functional structure? What becomes a hurdle in the complete development of employees in a functional structure? What does the structure of an organization determine? What is one of the key characteristics of a functional structure? What is one of the benefits of a tall organizational structure? How does a flat organizational structure affect the span of management? In a functional structure, what happens when managers perform same function repeatedly? What is the functional structure most suitable for? How does the functional structure help in achieving economies of scale? What is the impact of a functional structure on the organizational objectives? Why is coordination easier at the departmental level in a functional structure? What is one way a functional structure can hinder employee development? What is the role of departmental heads in a functional structure? What is one advantage of having specialists in each department? What does the framework within which managerial and operating tasks are performed called? What does a flat organizational structure imply about management levels? What does a clear superior subordinate relationship in an organization lead to? What is divisional organization structure based on? Which type of organizations is a divisional structure suitable for? Which type of organization is a divisional structure suitable for? What is one advantage of a divisional organization structure? How can the results of a division be assessed in a divisional structure? What can be done if a division is found to be unprofitable? How does a divisional structure facilitate growth and expansion? What is one disadvantage of a divisional organization structure? What does duplicity of functions in a divisional structure lead to? Why might conflicts arise among different divisions in a divisional structure? What attitudes can divisions in a divisional structure develop? What can the quick decision-making capability of divisional managers lead to? It is a primary characteristic of a divisional organizational structure. How does a divisional structure affect the assessment of performance? What is a common result of having entire sets of functions for all divisions? What can divisional managers do independently in a divisional structure? How does the divisional structure support future growth? What is the potential downside of divisions trying to display better performance? What can happen if there is a duplicity of functions among divisions? What makes the coordination among different divisions difficult? How does a divisional structure affect the allocation of resources? What is the main purpose of an informal organization? How does an informal organization originate? What is the key feature of an informal organization? What advantage does the informal organization offer regarding communication? How does an informal organization fulfill social needs? What is one disadvantage of an informal organization? Why might an informal organization resist change? What is a potential downside of group interest in an informal organization? How does an informal organization help in solving problems? What characterizes the communication lines of in an informal organization? What does a formal organization refer to? What is the nature of a formal organization? From where does authority arise in a formal organization? What happens if rules are violated in a formal organization? How does communication flow in a formal organization? What is the primary purpose of a formal organization? How is a formal organization formed? What characterizes the structure of a formal organization? How does authority flow in a formal organization? How does a formal organization relate to an informal organization? What does an informal organization refer to? What is the nature of an informal organization? From where does authority arise in an informal organization? What happens if informal rules are violated? How does communication flow in an informal organization? What is the primary purpose of an informal organization? How does an informal organization form? What characterizes the structures of an informal organization? How does authority flow in an informal organization? How does an informal organization depend on a formal organization? What does delegation of authority mean? Who holds the subordinates responsible for the performance of assigned tasks? What is the purpose of creating accountability in the delegation process? What is authority in the context of delegation? What is responsibility in the context of delegation? What is accountability in the context of delegation? What does the principle of absoluteness of accountability state? Can authority granted a subordinate be taken back and redelegated? Who is ultimately accountable for the work performance of subordinates? What is the meaning of authority and the difference between authority, responsibility, and accountability? What is the origin of authority in an organization? How does authority flow in an organization? What is the meaning of responsibility and the difference between authority, responsibility, and accountability? What is the origin of responsibility in an organization? How does responsibility flow in an organization? What is the meaning of accountability and the difference between authority, responsibility, and accountability? What is origin of accountability in an organization? How does accountability flow in an organization? Can responsibility be withdrawn once created? Can accountability be withdrawn once created? What is one of the main benefits of the delegation of authority for executives? How does delegation of authority affect employee development? What impact does delegation of authority have on decision making? How does delegation of authority affect the morale of subordinates? What role does delegation of authority play in coordination within an organization? Why does delegation of authority reduce the workload of executives? How does the delegation of authority benefit decision making for routine matters? What is the direct result of giving subordinates more authority? How does the delegation of authority contribute to employee skill development? What three elements of delegation help in maintaining effective coordination within an organization? What does decentralization of authority mean? Which of the following statements is true according to Allen? What is the primary difference between centralization and decentralization? In a centralized firm, what does the top level remain authority for? What is one of the key advantage of decentralization? How does decentralization help in decision making? What does decentralization do to the workload of top executives? What is the impact of decentralization managerial development? How does decentralization contribute to better control within the organization? What does the balance between centralization and decentralization depend on? Why is complete centralization or decentralization not possible in an organization? Which of the following best describes the relationship between centralization and decentralization? What trends to happen? What tends to happen as an organization grows in size? What does the delegation of authority to lower levels in a decentralized organization enable? Which level of management typically retains the authority for policies and decisions regarding the whole firm in a decentralized organization? Which of the following is an advantage of decentralization? What is the main focus of decentralization in terms of decision-making authority? How does decentralization affect the morale of subordinates? What is one disadvantage of decentralization? How does decentralization impact overall control in an organization? What is one key benefit of relieving top executive from excess workload through decentralization? What is the primary reason firms balance centralization decentralization? How does decentralization help in relieving the top executive from workload? In a decentralized organization, what is one of the main roles of middle L lower levels? What is a characteristic feature of decentralization in terms of decision making? Which statement is true regarding the pattern of authority in centralized organizations? How does decentralization affect the decision-making burden on top management? Which of the following is not an importance of decentralization? What happens to the role of subordinates in a decentralized organization? Which level of management is primarily involved in developing new strategies in a decentralized organization? What is the nature of delegation? What is the nature of decentralization? How does the freedom of action differ in delegation compared to decentralization? What is the status of delegation? What is the status of decentralization? What is the scope of delegation? What is the scope of decentralization? What is the primary purpose of delegation? What is the primary purpose of decentralization? In terms of control by superiors, how does delegation compare to decentralization? Which of the following is true about delegation? Which of the following is true about decentralization? How is delegation related to task and authority? How is decentralization related to policy decision? What does the narrow scope of delegation imply? What does the wide scope of decentralization imply? Which of the following best describe purpose of delegation? Which of the following best describe purpose of decentralization? What is the impact of delegation on managerial workload? What is the impact of decentralization on the role of lower level of management? तो यहाँ पे जो है ये पूरा चैप्टर के MCQs खत्म होते हैं. आप इस चैप्टर को अच्छे से रीड करना और उसके बाद इन MCQs को सोल्व करना. और अगर ये MCQs आपसे सोल्व नहीं होते हैं क्योंकि मैंने इसमें आंसर की नहीं दी है, आप चैप्टर को बार बार रिवाइज करो और इन MCQs की बार बार प्रैक्टिस करो. ठीक है, क्योंकि ये आपका बेस बनाएंगे. NCERT के जो MCQs होंगे वो आपका बेस